If anyone can hear the traffic in the background, no you can't. There is no time for me to record which would not have so many trucks going past. So we're just gonna ignore it. Ignoring that, good morning, good evening. If it's 1 AM, please go to sleep, because this is yet another video about my old warrior cats OCs. Back in the old days, I wasn't exactly the most popular teenager. Didn't have a lot of friends, so I was like Amino, where everyone draws cats. Yeah, that's my place. Which spawned a lot of OCs, so let's look over them. Warning for cringe content. I was just a little lad when I made these, and their stories are honestly just terrible. So we're going to start from what I remember many moons ago. But please note, while these originally started in bizarre random fan clans across internet spaces, they are currently, and canonically, all in the same clan as of now. This clan is not yet named, but it will have an earthy based name. If you have any suggestions, please drop them in the comments. Now let us begin. Starting with Emberstar. Emberstar was a senior warrior and Tom on Warrior Cats Amino when I was 14 to 15. He was created to be in a relationship with another character whose name was Ferret Otter. Yeah, let's go with that. They had some lovey-dovey romantic times and it was all very fun, and then at some point they had kits and we were like, yeah, let's make them have two not quite identical but similar twins, and then just Bone Kit. Spoopy Kit, if you will. I still have the original image for Bone Kit. I'm not going to show it to you because I'm going to put that in the second video when I draw him and his funky little design, so be ready for that. Ambersplash was a good character. He was certainly the least edgy of everyone involved in that roleplay group, and I have very fond memories of him and the person I roleplayed with. If you're watching this, you are a cool guy and I'm glad we met, but I doubt you are. Moving on to his personality, he was a very kind-hearted guy despite being absolutely massive, a gentle giant if you will. He always gives a helping hand when in need and is not below checking the artist for ticks or cleaning up the dirt area if someone has to do it. Though his clan is small, he tries the best to stay out of fights and keeps his territory well marked, and despite all of this he is a tank in battle and no one really wants to bother getting rolled over by this beast of a man. Moving up next is his deputy Mapleshiver. A less insanely old character, Mapleshiver is both a queen and senior warrior with the most insane shaggy fur and reddish markings. She holds herself to an impossibly high standard and fights like a girl, and by that I mean incredibly well. Despite having kitty pet parents, Mapleshiver's mentor was Embersplash, a character I have already gone over in this video. I'm gonna be honest here, I have never drawn her before. I only recently even named her. The file you might see in the corner of her footage is an adoptable I grabbed off DeviantArt many years ago and has been in my toy house for far too long, so today is changing that. I love the design and it deserves some art. This design was made by the lovely Avril Puffesto, who now goes by Puffesto, spelling on screen in case my strange little accent makes it hard to tell. And it was sold using their own base almost 2 years ago. For this reason, you may notice me tweaking the design during drawing? I love my accent, as it is my first time getting a feel for the character, but I can tell she and I are going to get along really well. She's a sweet, caring, and a total girl boss, the deputy of this clan in a well-deserved position. Coming up next is Tumbletwig, another less developed character. This is Tumbletwig. I have drawn him before. He is the clan's medicine cat, and while a bold little soul, he has always had a very spiritual connection to the world around him. He was originally training to be a warrior, but something was always different about him. He was quiet and slow to react to the sounds of prey, and eventually Emberstar saw that Tumble seemed way more interested in the contents of his territory and suggested he try becoming a medicine cat instead. It fits his role really well. A little airheaded at times, he can focus fiercely on what he believes to be important, and his mentor left big shoes to fill, but he makes the clan proud every day with his growing ability. He even confers with Caspian, a rogue and ex-clanmate I will cover in the next video, where he can find certain rarer herbs, and the two occasionally trade materials secretly. It's not super secret, Emberstar is aware of the trade, but has not raised it as an issue, and Mapleshiver is being kept away from the situation because otherwise she would get quite upset about it. From what I recall, Tumble wasn't adoptable, but the design I drew of him was very loosely based on the adopt, and he is essentially totally different now. Coming up next is Ravencrest, previously named Ebonymoon. This was my first warrior cat's OC I actually remember using. She was again born from a very old Amino roleplay and was my first openly gay OC. And that wasn't even my choice. I was roleplaying with a person on there, and our she-cats became pretty good friends, and she was like, hey, what if they're girlfriends? And I was like, oh wait, you can do that? Sure, neat. Yes, child me, you can do that. It was quite a few years before I realized that I was a lesbian. Anyway, I remember Ravencrest and her girl buddy spent their days running around the fields and woods and just loving their time. At some point they somehow had kits. I do not know how at all. I think they were maybe the ex-partner of the other cats. It makes no sense. Maybe they just kidnapped some random children, who knows. But enough about the past and know about her present. Ravencrest in the clan is a warrior with a heart of gold, and she tries so hard to pretend that she's not. She keeps a prickly, distant facade, but everyone knows she's actually a very kind-hearted individual, though formidable in battle. While her attacks are not overly strong from a brute force standpoint, unlike her deputy Mapleshiver, she has great control over her body and strategizes where and when to hit her enemies for the best result, often throwing much bigger cats off their game. Rumour has it she's even taken down Emberstar once or twice in just playful battle. Fast and agile, she is the one you want on a hunting patrol, although she admittedly finds it a little boring at times. She was also originally based off my cat. Last but not least for this video, we have Lilymoss. Quite the opposite of Ravencrest comes Lilymoss, a little round warrior with a cheerful exterior and a very manipulative interior. While Ravencrest expresses a lot of dislike but is internally very kind, Lilymoss is the opposite. She's very sweet on the surface, but generally feels negatively towards most of her clanmates, even thinking herself above them. She agrees to do patrols as Emberstar requests, but she's seething that someone dare tell her what to do on the inside. She thinks of herself as being way above many of her clanmates, the apprentices, her fellow warriors, and even her deputy, who she believes does not deserve her role. Despite this bravado, she's pretty feral in battle. Lilymoss will jump on any cat who dares argue or approach her, despite her leader's requests for peace. While she is an asset, the easiest way to describe her has to be explosive, and her clanmates can never trust a word that comes out of her mouth. At least her fierce loyalty keeps her from doing anything too stupid to her clanmates. She was originally a custom design for a character named Moonmoss, as can be seen in the top corner, but her current design is just inspired by that, and almost everything has been changed. Also, Moonmoss is not a legitimate name to my knowledge, and Lilymoss suits her better. And that is all I have for today. There are so many more characters that I could have covered, but I honestly think this video is long enough already, seeing as it is just me talking about silly little cats. So we still have to go Appledrop, who was my main character back in the day. Sootpour / Sootbreeze. Ashenpaw/Ashenfull, Periwinklepaw, Bonekit, Charcoal, and Caspian, a few of which I have mentioned in this video. But for now, you're gonna have to wait for that one because I have a lot of work to do, so just enjoy your cats. Follow my socials if you want some more frequent updates, because I don't have a lot of time to make long videos like this, but I do sometimes upload sketches to Twitter, DeviantArt, the rest of it. They should all be linked in my bio, and thank you very much for enjoying this video. Hopefully you made some good background noise while you drew. Stay inspired, kids.